April 9th, City of Apopka Planning and Zoning Commission meeting. If you all please stand with me for a moment of silent prayer and the pledge. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. If anyone from the public is here and wishes to speak on an item that is listed on the agenda, you will be given a time during each agenda item to speak. If there is someone here that has anything planning and zoning related they would like to speak on, now would be the time. Seeing none, we'll move on. Right. First item, meeting minutes, March 12th, 2024. Need a motion and a second, please.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the March 12th meeting.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Stanley. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Second by Commissioner Ryan. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item number 1, quasi-judicial special exemption, 3716 Hogshead Road, owners Lauren Bodega LLC, applicant Sarah Tidro Carol Lowndes, location 3716 Hogshead Road. Has anyone here had any ex parte communication on this matter?
No.
No.
Very well. Mr. Song?
Good evening. Okay, this is Johnson Planner 2. This item is a request for a special exception for outdoor storage at 3716 Hogshead Road. The area is zoned light industrial and has official land use of industrial, and outdoor storage is permitted in this zoning area with a special exception. The DRC has recommended approval, and the recommended motion is to approve a special exception permit for the temporary use of outdoor storage as a principal use for the construction of the 3716 Hogshead Road construction site plan. Planning staff and applicant are available to answer any questions.
Does anyone have questions of staff? Commissioner Ryan.
Is there a deadline for the construction?
So usual deadline is 2 years from the approval. Are you talking about CSP plan that has been approved previously?
No, I'm talking about once they,
This temporary outdoor storage?
so basically they're getting exception for the storage unit
Yes.
during the construction. So I was wondering how long the construction, is there a deadline for the construction period?
So this is a special exception for outdoor storage that it will be temporary use for construction plan that has been approved previously. And this special exception is valid for 2 years and can be extended for another 1 year if the director approve it.
So that means the construction can go on for 3 years, you said?
I'm sorry.
You said can construction go on for 3 years?
No, this is, so 2 years for outdoor storage special exception. But this special exception for outdoor storage is for the construction site plan that already has been approved.
Right, I understand that. I just wonder how long that storage unit is going to be there. That's what I'm asking.
That's a 2 year. The outdoor storage is, the special exception is for a 2 years maximum. The construction site plan is different than the outdoor storage. It's not construction for the outdoor storage or construction for the site plan. It's two separate items.
No, I understand. I just wonder how long that unit, the storage unit is going to be there. Or if there's a deadline for the storage unit.
Well, it's not a storage unit. It's a construction site plan. That's for the construction itself. The outdoor storage is the special exception. Got to separate the two.
Right, that's what I meant, the outdoor storage. Correct.
2 years.
No.
Any more questions of staff? No, sir. All right. Is the applicant here to that presentation?
Good evening, McGregor Love, 215 North Eula Drive, the Lowndes Law Firm. And just to your question, Mr. Ryan, I think this was a point that confused the discussion at DRC, which is why we ended up back there a few times to kind of clarify some of these issues, because there's a great deal of discussion about the actual, warehouse that is permitted that will go there. And it leads the reader to believe that this use will actually be run out of a warehouse, but it won't. This is just on-site storage. There's no structure associated with that storage. And the background here is that they're not able to actually construct their site plan right now because the utilities are being extended down that road. And this is a use that will allow them to use the property while they're waiting for utilities to connect so that they can build their ultimate permanent use. So that's a little bit of background. Other than that, I thank June. I think DRC and staff have been great throughout the process. I'm here to answer any questions.
Any questions of the applicant?
No.
All right, thank you, sir. Does anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board for discussion and a motion.
I'll make the motion, Mr. Chairman. Make a motion to approve a special exception permit for temporary use of outdoor storage as a principal use for constructing 3716 Hogshead Road construction site plan in the IL Light Industrial Zoning District, subject to the exhibits and findings of the staff report.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Dumey. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Washington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right, on to site plans. Item number 1 in the site plans, Kelly Park Land Investments LLC.
Just want to make a real quick note, Jared. The legislative ordinance number 3029, the transportation element that's on the agenda, has been pulled. We're going to do some workshops before this goes back before Planning Commission.
Okay. Do we need to bring that up and table it, or?
I don't believe so.
I think that's your election, Chair. I mean, the staff can request to pull it from the agenda, and as long as there's no issue from that, from the board, then no formal actions needed to be taken.
Okay, as I thought. All right, thank you. Okay, again, site plan for Kelly Park Land Investments LLC, Gavin Land Services LLC, applicants Poulos and Bennett, care of Melissa Martinez. Location 4510 On Ditch Road. Ms. Sanchez?
Good evening, Jean Sanchez with the Community Development Department. This is a request to recommend approval of the Crossroads at Kelly Park Phases 1-2, 1-3, and 2 plat. Subject property is located at 4510 Ondich Road on the southeast corner of Ondich and Round Lake Road, approximately 150 acres in size. The applicant has submitted the Crossroads at Kelly Park Phases 1, 2, 1, 3, and 2 plat to create stormwater tracks, roads, and other infrastructure to support the previously approved projected expansion of the Crossroads at Kelly Park development. The plat is consistent with all Crossroads at Kelly Park phases approved by the City Council, as well as the corresponding master infrastructure construction site plan approved by the Development Review Committee on September 6, 2023. The DRC recommends approval. The recommended motion is to recommend approval of the Crossroads at Kelly Park Phases 1-2, 1-3, and 2 plat. Staff and applicant are available for questions.
Thank you, Ms. Sanchez. Anyone have questions of staff?
No, sir.
All right. Is the applicant here? Do they have an or a presentation?
Hi, Melissa Martinez, Poulos and Bennett, 2602 East Livingston Street, Orlando. I don't have a presentation. We've gone through the city's process to gain approvals. If there's any questions or concerns, I'm available. Otherwise, no
Very
comment.
well. Does anyone have questions of the applicant?
No.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Does anyone from the public here wish to speak on this matter? Seeing none, we'll bring it back to the board for discussion and a motion.
I'll make a motion, Mr. Chairman, to approve the Crossroads at Kelly Park Phase 1-2, 1-3, and 2 in plat.
Thank you, sir. Motion by Commissioner Stanley. Do I have a second? He's louder. I got him. Motion by Commissioner, or a second by Commissioner Norwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Site plan number 2. Owners BPG Mid-Florida South 1 LLC and Central Florida Expressway Authority. Applicants Leading Edge Land Services, care of Mike Bearhold. Location southwest corner of Peterson Road and State Road 429. Ms. Sanchez.
For the record, Jean Sanchez with the Community Development Department. This is a request to recommend approval of the Mid-Florida South Logistic Park plat. The subject property is located on the southwest corner of Peterson Road and State Road 429, approximately 71 acres in size. The applicant has submitted the Mid-Florida South Logistics plat to combine 5 parcels and develop an industrial center for warehouse, distribution, and other light industrial uses and create the conservation area on the southern portion of the project boundary. Plat is consistent with the major development plan approved by City Council on May 17, 2023, and the construction site plan approved by the Development Review Committee on October 6, 2023. The DRC recommends approval. The recommended motion is to recommend approval of the Mid-Florida South Logistics Park plat. Staff is available for questions.
Thank you. Anyone have questions of staff?
No.
Assume the applicant is not here.
No, sir.
All righty. All right. Does anyone from the public wish to speak on this matter? If it's not you, it's not anybody. Okay. All right. Bring it back to the board for a motion and discussion.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to recommend approval for the Mid-Florida South Logistic Park dash plat.
Thank you. Motion by Commissioner Norwood. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner Washington. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. Do we have any old business?
I have a question.
All right, Commissioner
I don't know if it's
Washington.
appropriate or not, but I
Uh-oh.
guess I'll find out.
Here we go.
The Floridian Town Center was approved many months ago. And obviously they put in some infrastructure. I've seen some roads and maybe a couple street lights. But it seems like it's just slow going. Any comment?
We've asked the same question. We don't have an answer yet regarding that either. My understanding is that they did sell off the multifamily portion, but it is, it's delayed. They have gated it off. They were having problems with dumping and a few other things like that. So they did gate off the access off of the connector road and the access off of Plymouth Sorrento also. So can't get into it, but we're just waiting for them to do something with it. They do have the approved construction site plan. So just waiting at this stage.
Okay, and the second question is, how you coming along with the workshop, if you will, with the Wild Oaks folks? They wanted to talk to you about modifying the form-based code a little bit, to tweak it.
Yeah, staff did meet with them. They went from 54 pages of changes down to about 10 or 11 items. They are tweaking some of those. A couple of items we actually volunteered to get rid of a couple sections of the KPI having to do with shared parking and times of when parking can be shared, things that were a lot more confusing than they were attributable to the KPI itself. So, and there's also a couple things that staff was already looking at in regards to setbacks next to different properties is, anytime you got over 2 stories, you had to set back 10 feet for every additional 10 feet or every story. And the only place that we can actually see that of value is when it's adjacent to other single family. So that's one of the other changes that staff is going to be recommending is that one. But some of the other things, the majority of the KPI, there really wasn't any base to some of the recommendations that they were looking at, and they didn't even have a site plan that could be utilized to make justification for the changes that they were making. So they're kind of going back to the drawing board. The other thing, staff did go out to Celebration and Baldwin Park and Winter Park to look at those examples that they gave, and they were already taken care of in our KPI code. So that's why they came back with a couple other things that, a few of which I mentioned, we were already looking at. So there'll be a couple changes, but they're looking at modifying those a little bit more stringently than the 10 or 12 that they already went down to. So
Okay, thanks.
they'll obviously everything will be coming to y'all when that gets done.
Yes.
I have a question about that. Some of those things that they were asking to be changed and some of the pushback was that, we don't want to change our complete code to fit this one simple thing. Wouldn't that be a situation for a special exemption?
No. Special exception is that's where you actually have a list of different items that you get a special exception for. You can't get a special exception for a height or setback change or things like that. Those are physical things that are actually within the KPI itself.
There's no mechanism if it was an extenuating circumstance or something where it made sense, we wanted them to come in and build or wanted, it was desirable for us. There's no way to work around that short of changing the code?
Not really. And the main reason is that this is not a normal code area that you could get say a plan development or a PD that could be utilized. It's a form-based code, and it's supposed to be in conjunction with the with the code the way it's written. There's again if we end up changing the code every time somebody came in because it didn't quite fit them, then the form-based code would not be effective.
No, I understand. I'm
Yeah.
not saying that let somebody come in and say, we're going to build this if you change that and then just do it because it would be a constantly evolving code. But in my mind, we have a planning commission, and more so we have elected officials at city council.
Sure.
And if they say, hey, we want to build this building and you guys said only 3 stories, but our plan is 4 stories, why isn't that something that the city council makes that decision versus saying, well, the KPI says no, and we're not going to change it, and that's that.
Well,
I just feel like, and I'm not picking at you, even though I am. It's like you're making a decision and just saying, that's it, no, it's not going to happen, to where, to me, even if it went past us or it goes in front of us and we say yes or no, that should be, the city council should have the ability to say, well, look, we want this project, we think it's good, and we've all decided to do it. And they're the end responsible parties, they're the elected officials here, so.
Well, they haven't given us proof enough that that's what they need to do. This is still conjecture.
In this
So,
specific circumstance,
But
I'm
it's-
saying in a broader sense.
well, we can't work on hypotheticals though. That's the only problem.
It's it's a simple question. If there's something in the KPI code, if
Yeah.
Sanchez Construction wants to build a building and
Hey,
it's not going to fit in the KPI
Just let me
code,
do it.
But it's a good thing for the city. There's no residential pushback, and the people on the city council, and we think it's good, and everybody thinks it's a good idea. Instead of going and changing the code, I would think it would be a simpler thing to say, okay, we'll put it up for vote. We make a recommendation and then let those people make that, not this specific one.
Gotcha, yeah.
I'm saying that there's going to be a circumstance at some point where that happens, I would think, and so
Right.
there's no mechanism for that to happen?
There is a mechanism,
Okay.
but Jim's talking about it, like it's restrictive in the
Yeah.
KPI. There's a mechanism. If they're asking, I forget what certain sections are eligible. but it's only if anything that is over 30%, I think, or under 30%, I'm sorry, it has to come to Planning Commission and be treated as a variance, but it's only on certain sections of the KPI. On the other hand, there is like an administrative relief mechanism in there where someone like a community development director can make the discretion if it's under 10% of a, like a threshold of a difference. He can make those discretionary decisions, but it's really restrictive in the KPI. One, because we want certain things in the KPI only, and two, it's because KPI, the form-based code itself is it already allows you to create a kind of visionary and creative development. So really, the form-based code in itself allows you to be a little bit more creative than other residential-based or commercial-based zoning districts. So, I mean, I think there was a little bit of pushback because we were just overwhelmed with the 54 pages of proposed changes from Wild Oaks.
Yeah, we've already got about, I think it's about 12 or 15 projects that have not needed any changes in this whole area. So this is the first large one that does need some changes. So it'd be similar to like doing a glitch amendment through the land development code, but so far out of all these projects, this is the only one that may, still don't know, but may need a little bit of help that could be applicable to some of the other developments that might be going in with the remaining properties too.
Okay, I understand. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I get it. I thought 54 items was kind of crazy myself. I thought it was like, that's ridiculous. All
Yeah,
right.
when we were reading the pages, it was just like, wait a second, I mean, they're little things and.
All right. Any more old business? No, sir. Any new business? Meeting adjourned.
Thank you.